Your legs feel heavier than usual tonight. There's that slow burn behind your knees again. Maybe a whisper of tightness curling up your calves like a rubber band pulled just a bit too far. You shift in bed, stretch one foot, then the other, and suddenly snap. A jolt. Your whole leg seizes up like it's forgotten how to be part of you. Leg cramps. That one deceptively small problem that turns peaceful nights into twitchy, sleepless battles. And here's the kicker, over 60% of older adults experience leg cramps regularly. Yet almost nobody talks about them seriously until they're really messing things up. Here's a rude little truth. Statistically, you're probably doing at least 2 things today that make those cramps more likely tonight. You just don't know it yet. Could be the healthy food you ate for lunch, the walk you didn't take, even the way your ankles hang when you sleep. But don't worry, we're about to make friends with your legs in a whole new way. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from tonight and what time is it in your world? Drop your location and time in the comments below so we can build our little sleepy health tribe. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let your body settle into tonight's calm journey. Because those cramps? They're not just random muscle twitches, they're warning signs, little flashes of your body asking for better care. Picture this, it's 3 a.m. and you're jolted awake by a cramp so strong you nearly cry out. Your foot twists inward like it's possessed, your calf turns into a rock, and you sit there helpless, clutching your leg, waiting for it to stop. Sound familiar? Now imagine this instead. You're in bed, muscles, relaxed toes, gently pointed breath soft, and absolutely no interruptions from your limbs. That's where we're heading. See, leg cramps don't start at bedtime. They start much earlier with tiny daily habits you hardly notice, like how you sip coffee all afternoon but forget water, or how you sit just a bit too long without stretching. Even stress, the sneaky kind that never quite goes away, can prime your muscles to go rogue at night. Your body's a circuit. Muscles, nerves, fluids, minerals, all constantly talking to each other. But sometimes that conversation gets messy. Electrolytes drop. Hydration dips. Nerve signals misfire. And suddenly your calf thinks it's in a rodeo. One mainstream medical fact: most doctors agree on nighttime leg cramps in older adults are often linked to subtle imbalances in hydration circulation and mineral levels, not just one isolated issue. So no, it's not just aging. That's a lazy answer. It's a bunch of small things accumulating, layering, building up tension. Here's the weird part. Some scientists argue that leg cramps might even be your nervous system overcompensating, like an overzealous security guard reacting to false alarms. Some doctors still disagree whether cramps are purely muscle-based or if the brain plays a more active role in triggering them. I think of it like your body sending a text message that says, hey, something's off. Only instead of a ding, you get an intense Charlie horse at 2 in the morning. Let me tell you about a patient. Call her Linda. Mid-60s, spry, hilarious, still line dancing every Thursday. She came to me exhausted, not because of arthritis or blood pressure issues, but because of relentless nightly cramps that left her anxious to go to bed. Every morning she'd wake up more tired than she went in. Turns out Linda had unknowingly cut back on water to avoid waking up at night. Smart idea, right? Except without enough fluids, her muscles were more prone to cramping. We adjusted her hydration timing more during the day, less after 7 p.m., tweaked her evening stretches, added a warm foot soak ritual, and boom, cramp-free within 2 weeks. That's the thing. Most solutions aren't hard. They're just hidden in plain sight. Think about your body right now. Are your feet a little cool? Your knees slightly stiff from sitting? Maybe your toes are pointed slightly downward, that classic cramp-triggering position. All of those matter. Even something as innocent as tucking in the sheets too tight can prevent your feet from moving naturally, increasing tension in your calves as you sleep. We're going to unlearn a lot of assumptions over the next few chapters. Because preventing leg cramps naturally isn't about magic pills or expensive therapies. It's about understanding what your body's trying to tell you and knowing how to respond. Stick with me to the end and I'll walk you through the simplest nighttime ritual that might just give you the best sleep you've had in years. But first, we need to clear up a certain yellow fruit's reputation. Bananas! They're the internet's favorite leg cramp cure. And you've probably heard it before, got a cramp, eat a banana. But let's pause for a second. Is potassium really the knight in shining yellow armor everyone says it is? Or is this just one of those comforting myths we keep repeating because it sounds simple and delicious? Here's what's true. Potassium is crucial for muscle function. It helps regulate how muscles contract and relax by balancing electrical signals in your body. When you don't get enough, your nerves and muscles start acting out, twitching, cramping, or feeling unusually weak. So yes, low potassium can absolutely be a factor in muscle cramps. But here's the twist. Most people don't realize if you're already getting enough potassium from your diet, piling on more bananas won't fix the problem. In fact, most older adults in reasonably good health aren't potassium deficient. They're hydration deficient, or magnesium deficient, or sitting too much deficient. But bananas, they've got great PR. Now, if you're someone who skips fruits and veggies, eats mostly packaged foods, or takes certain blood pressure meds like diuretics, then yes, you could be low on potassium. In that case, bring on the bananas, oranges, spinach, sweet potatoes, and avocados. But let me tell you about Gary. Gary's 72, walks every morning, eats his veggies, and still had calf cramps every other night. He was eating 2 bananas a day and still waking up with his toes curled like pretzels. Why? Because potassium wasn't the issue. He was drinking 3 cups of coffee, sweating a lot during his walks, and barely drinking any water afterward. By bedtime, his body was as dry as toast. We focused less on bananas and more on better hydration, an electrolyte-rich drink in the late afternoon, and get this, a warm compress on his calves before bed. Cramp frequency dropped to almost 0 in 3 weeks. This is where the conversation gets interesting. Because some researchers argue that potassium plays a smaller role in leg cramps than we thought. Some doctors still disagree whether potassium supplementation alone is effective unless a true deficiency is confirmed. Meaning, if you're already at normal levels, extra potassium won't save the day. Here's a surprising tip. Instead, try coconut water. It's rich in potassium and provides hydration and other minerals like magnesium. 1 small glass, not the sugar-loaded kind in the late afternoon, might be more useful than scarfing down a banana at 9 p.m. Or try baked sweet potatoes with dinner. They're potassium-rich, fiber-friendly, and won't spike your blood sugar like tropical fruits sometimes can. Now, if you still want a banana, go for it. Just don't treat it like some magic leg cramp cure, because the danger of the banana myth is that it makes people stop looking deeper. Oh, I ate my banana, still got a cramp. Guess nothing works. Wrong. Your body is more nuanced than that. Leg cramps usually happen when multiple things are off balance, not just one. Maybe your potassium's fine, but your magnesium is low. Or your calf muscles are tight from sitting all day. Or you're mildly dehydrated from that cheeky glass of red wine after dinner. See how this works. I call it the cramp cocktail, a mix of habits imbalances and little oversights that all combine to mess with your sleep. Here's a gentle test you can try. Next time you get a leg cramp, don't just stretch or groan and go back to bed. Write down everything you did that day. What did you eat and drink? How active were you? How did you sleep the night before? Were you stressed? Wearing tight shoes? Did your legs feel tired before bed? Do this for 3 or 4 episodes, and I promise you'll see a pattern. One last note, bananas do have a friend that's often more useful, magnesium. The two work together to support muscle health, and magnesium is way more likely to be deficient in seniors than potassium is. But more on that in Section 6. For now, just remember this. Potassium is helpful, but only when it's part of a bigger picture. And no fruit, no matter how yellow and smiley, is going to fix your legs all by itself. So eat your banana if you like it, but don't expect it to be your personal cramp superhero. That job, it belongs to something far less flashy, but much more vital. Water. You reach for your water bottle, and it's empty. Again. You meant to refill it. You always mean to. But the day runs away from you, laundry, errands, phone calls, maybe even a little nap. And suddenly it's dinner, and all you've had is 2 cups of coffee and a little juice. Sound familiar? Here's what your body's quietly been doing while you've been just a little bit thirsty all day. Your blood thickens ever so slightly. Your muscles start losing their flexibility. Your nerves, the ones that fire off signals to help your calves stretch and relax, become a little twitchier. Your kidneys get a little less forgiving. And your brain, it starts misinterpreting signals, making your body more reactive than it needs to be. That's dehydration for you. Most people think of it as something dramatic, heat stroke, dizziness, lips cracking like the Mojave Desert. But dehydration is sneaky. In older adults, even mild dehydration is enough to throw off your electrolyte balance, tighten up your muscle fibers, and trigger nighttime leg cramps. And the kicker thirst becomes a less reliable signal as you age. Your body just doesn't send that "I need water now" message as clearly. So what's happening while you're sipping that lovely herbal tea at 8 p.m.? Too little too late. If you want to prevent leg cramps naturally, your water game has to be smarter. It's not about drinking more randomly, it's about drinking strategically. Here's a surprising tip. Start your hydration early in the day. Front load it. The first 8-10 ounces you drink in the morning don't just quench your thirst. They literally reboot your blood pressure, help your digestion, and flush out the sluggish byproducts that built up overnight. And get this. Some doctors now believe that timing hydration has a bigger impact on sleep-related cramps than total water volume. Some doctors still disagree whether evening hydration is helpful or if it just leads to sleep disruption from nighttime urination. Here's what I recommend. Start with a big glass of water right after waking. Then aim for small sips every hour through the day. By the time it's 6 p.m., your muscles should be well lubricated and balanced, and your bathroom trips at night can stay minimal. Now remember Gary from Section 2. He was cramping every other night, even with his double banana habit. His fix a hydration schedule. He filled a 1-liter bottle every morning and made a goal to finish it by 4 p.m. Then just a small herbal tea or coconut water in the evening. No nighttime leg cramps for a month straight. But hydration isn't just water. Here comes the curveball: electrolytes. Think of electrolytes as your body's electrical wiring crew. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. They all help your nerves talk to your muscles properly. Without them, you get static. And static leads to misfiring nerves, which leads to, you guessed it, cramps. That's why just water sometimes isn't enough. If you've been sweating, walking, gardening, or even stressing all day, plain water might dilute the minerals you actually need. Enter natural electrolyte sources. Try a pinch of sea salt in your water if it tastes too flat. Try sipping unsweetened coconut water once in the afternoon. Or better yet, eat your water. Yep, that's a thing. Cucumbers, watermelon, strawberries, celery, lettuce, zucchini. These foods are packed with water and minerals. You hydrate and nourish at the same time. A fun little trick. Try making a hydration plate midday. Slices of cucumber, a few watermelon cubes, a sprinkle of sea salt or chili powder for flavor, and boom, you've just hydrated better than a 16-ounce plastic bottle ever could. And the benefit: muscles that move smoother, fewer twitches, less nighttime jolting. Want one more trick? Drink lukewarm water instead of icy cold. It absorbs faster, digests easier, and doesn't shock your system, especially important in the evening when your body is winding down. Let's not forget the emotional layer either. Stress tightens everything, even your cells. And when your body's in low-grade stress all day, news traffic, tight schedules, you actually burn through minerals faster, especially magnesium and sodium. So if you're slightly dehydrated, mineral deficient, and wound a little tight by bedtime, that's a perfect storm for a 2 a.m. cramp. The solution: slow, steady hydration, mineral-rich snacks, early evening wind downs that include warm fluids not just for comfort, but for function. By now you're probably thinking, okay, I'll drink more. Good. But don't chug. That's another trap. Your kidneys will just toss it out and your belly will slosh. Instead, set a small water reminder on your phone. Or link drinking water to a habit you already have, like brushing your teeth or making tea. You don't need to become a hydration monk. You just need to become a hydration friend, someone who listens to your body's whispers before they become cramps. Now that we've watered the system, let's look at what's hiding in your healthy meals that might be drying you out all over again. You open the pantry feeling virtuous. Low-fat soup check. Whole grain crackers. Sure, that fancy heart-healthy instant ramen with extra veggies. Why not? You're doing your best cutting back on heavy meats, watching your cholesterol adding more fiber. But here's the sneaky part that labels won't tell you. Most of these healthy convenience foods are loaded with sodium. And not the helpful kind your body uses to balance fluids and nerve signals. We're talking the over-processed, dehydrating, cramp-triggering kind. The kind that leaves your muscles tight and irritable, especially after dark. Now, sodium isn't your enemy. In fact, it's essential. Without it, your nerves can't signal your muscles and your cells can't hold on to water. But too much of the wrong kind, especially when paired with poor hydration, can pull water out of your muscles instead of helping them retain it. It's like putting out a fire with gasoline. And here's where it gets worse. Even meals marketed as low-fat or low-calorie often double up on sodium to keep the flavor alive. That pre-packed lentil soup that says only 120 calories might have 900 milliliters of sodium, nearly half your daily need, in one tiny bowl. You wouldn't sprinkle that much salt on a salad, but you'll happily sip it from a spoon. That's how they get you. I once had a patient, Clara, who prided herself on eating clean. She didn't eat junk, but she did rely heavily on frozen veggie meals, store-bought soups, and those trendy protein wraps. Her daily sodium intake easily 3,000 milligrams. Her legs were cramping every night. Once we looked at the labels together, her eyes nearly fell out. We swapped her meals for homemade versions with herbs and potassium-rich seasonings, garlic, lemon, basil, even a little turmeric. Within days, the spasms reduced. By week 2, they were gone. Mainstream fact-excess sodium, especially from processed foods, is a major contributor to fluid imbalance and nerve sensitivity. But here's the thing you won't hear often. Some doctors still disagree whether sodium alone is the villain. Many believe it's the sodium to potassium ratio that causes the problem. Meaning, if your potassium's too low and your sodium's too high, the scales tip, and your muscles pay the price. So, what can you actually do about it? Here's a surprising tip. Try seasoning with potassium-rich ingredients instead. Avocado, spinach, beets, mushrooms. They add umami depth to dishes without jacking up the sodium. Use lemon juice vinegar, fresh herbs, or a sprinkle of nutritional yeast for flavor instead of salt-heavy sauces. Want a quick switch? Replace half your lunch sandwich bread with romaine or butter lettuce. Swap store-bought salad dressings, often sodium bombs, with olive oil and lemon. Make your own soup in a big batch, then freeze portions. Takes 30 minutes, saves your calves for weeks. And here's a fun one. Add celery to your daily snack plate. It's naturally salty, hydrating, and full of minerals your body actually understands. Pair it with almond butter for a little muscle-loving magnesium. Oh, and those low-sodium packaged snacks still proceed with caution. Because food companies sometimes cheat the system. They'll reduce sodium slightly, but pump in other preservatives or artificial potassium salts which may not absorb well or could irritate your stomach if you're sensitive. Real food always wins. And the more water-rich your meals are, the less pressure on your kidneys, the less tension in your legs, and the better your sleep. Now, here's something you probably haven't considered. Your evening snack could be silently working against your muscles, especially if it includes salted popcorn, cheese and crackers, pretzels or roasted nuts, anything flavored or zesty from a bag. All these pack sodium in high doses. And if you're not countering with plenty of hydration and potassium during the day, you're walking into the perfect cramp trap. So how do you reset your mineral balance? Start with this simple routine. Drink a glass of warm water with lemon or a tiny pinch of sea salt in the morning. Focus your sodium intake earlier in the day when you're more active. Choose evening meals with whole foods, steamed greens, lean proteins, root veggies, soups made from scratch. Avoid salty snacks after 7 p.m. End the day with a relaxing herbal tea like chamomile peppermint or ginger. Hydrating and cramp soothing. It's not about being perfect, it's about giving your body the right tools at the right time and the payoff muscles that don't rebel. Feet that don't curl up in the middle of a dream. Sleep that doesn't end in a midnight foot flex on the cold floor. So next time you grab that healthy soup or snack, take a peek at the label, not just for calories, but for the sodium number hiding in plain sight. Because the truth is, sometimes the most dangerous things aren't what's missing from your diet. It's what's added in quietly, invisibly, and passed off as helpful. Speaking of sneaky enemies, let's talk about the innocent way you lie in bed and how it might be quietly choking your calves while you sleep. You pull the covers up. Tuck your feet in just right. Maybe even wedge a pillow between your knees for good measure. And then your calf seizes, like it's trying to fold in on itself, suddenly furious at the simple act of lying down. You sit bolt upright, clawing at your leg, groaning, stretching, muttering something not quite suitable for bedtime prayers. Sound familiar? Here's a little-known truth. The way you sleep, your position, your blankets, even your pillows, can trigger leg cramps. Yep. Your cozy, carefully arranged bedtime setup might be quietly sabotaging your circulation, your nerve signals, and your muscle flexibility. Let's get into it. Most people sleep with their toes pointed downward. It feels natural, relaxing. But here's what that position actually does. It shortens your calf muscles, it tightens your Achilles tendon, and it mimics the very position your leg assumes during a cramp. So, if you sleep like that for hours, it's like asking your muscle to hold a low-level contraction all night. Eventually, something snaps. Mainstream fact, sleeping with toes, pointed a position called plantar flexion, is a known trigger for nocturnal leg cramps. Some doctors suggest switching to dorsiflexion, where your toes gently point upward instead of down. But here's the problem. You can't control your feet while you're unconscious. So what can you do? Here's a surprising tip. Try sleeping with a rolled towel or firm pillow under your calves, just above the heels. This slight elevation supports your legs and encourages your feet to fall into a more neutral position rather than drooping into full toe point mode. It feels weird at first, but many of my patients say it dramatically reduced their cramps within the first few nights. Now, let's talk sheets. If your bed is tightly made like a hotel corner tuck situation, you're creating foot resistance. Your toes can't flex upward because the blankets are pressing them down. Think of it like wearing a tight shoe all night. No freedom, no movement, no release. That's a cramp waiting to happen. So here's your gentle assignment. Loosen your sheets. Untuck the corners. Let your feet breathe and move. You might be surprised how much easier your legs feel in the morning. Still not convinced your sleep position matters? Let me tell you about Marta. She's 68 yoga teacher, flexible as ever, but her legs cramped only at night. We tried all the usual suspects, hydration, diet, magnesium. Nothing changed. Then I asked, how do you sleep? She said, curled up like a shrimp, feet pointed. I suggested a bolster pillow under her knees and a loose foot flex before bed. She thought it was silly, but tried it. No cramps for 3 weeks straight. That's how subtle this is. Some doctors still disagree whether sleep posture alone can prevent cramps, but it's widely accepted that prolonged muscle shortening increases risk. Even your back position matters. If you're a stomach sleeper, sorry friend, your feet will naturally point downward. If you're a side sleeper with your knees tucked in tightly, you're also shortening your lower leg muscles. And back sleepers. Well, you're in luck if you place a small pillow under your knees and let your feet fall outward naturally. One more sneaky posture trap. Recliners. You take a late evening nap in your favorite chair, feet up knees, bent ankles slightly dangling. Looks comfy, but this half-bent position puts pressure on your sciatic nerve and it tightens your hamstrings. Then you go to bed and boom, midnight cramp. So here's your pre-bed checklist for happier legs. Loosen your sheets at the bottom of the bed. Use a soft pillow or towel under your calves. Avoid tucking your feet too tightly, give them wiggle room. Before sleep, try a gentle flex and hold stretch. Pull your toes toward your shin for 5 seconds, repeat 3 times. If you nap in a chair, stretch your legs before standing up. Bonus tip, invest in sleep socks. Not compression socks, just soft, non-tight, warm socks. Cold feet can trigger nerve sensitivity, which may set off a cramp. Remember, you're not just lying still in bed. You're holding a posture for hours. And if that posture happens to mimic the exact position that starts a cramp, well, your muscles won't be shy about letting you know. So tonight, give your legs some space. Treat your bed like a place to open, extend, and release, not a spot to curl and constrict. Because your best sleep starts when your muscles can finally say, "Ah, now this feels right." And tomorrow, we stretch. But not the kind you're thinking of. The next chapter is all about the misunderstood mineral that quietly holds the keys to your leg muscles and why it's missing for most of our lives. You stand up from the couch and feel that quiet tug behind your knee. Nothing painful, just tight. You flex your foot a little better. But something still doesn't feel quite right, like your muscles are humming with tension they haven't been allowed to release. And that, my friend, is where magnesium enters the conversation. This quiet little mineral doesn't get the flashy reputation of calcium or the exotic image of potassium. But when it comes to leg cramps, magnesium is your body's backstage manager, making sure everything runs smoothly. It helps your muscles relax after they contract. It supports proper nerve signaling. It keeps calcium in check, more on that in a second. And it helps regulate over 300 enzymatic processes that keep your cells from turning into drama queens. Mainstream medical fact, magnesium deficiency is strongly associated with muscle cramps, particularly in older adults. Yet, very few people actually know whether they're getting enough. Here's why it's tricky. Magnesium doesn't scream when it's missing. It whispers. You might feel a little anxious, or struggle with sleep, or notice some muscle twitches, or, start getting those annoying night cramps. Now, here's the kicker. Even with a decent diet, many seniors are magnesium deficient. Why? Modern soil has less magnesium than it used to. Processed foods strip magnesium away. Age-related changes in digestion mean we absorb less from the same foods. Certain medications like diuretics and antacids drain magnesium stores. So even if you're eating your greens and nuts and whole grains, it might not be enough. Here's where things get juicy. Some doctors swear by magnesium supplements for nighttime leg cramps. Others remain skeptical, pointing out that some doctors still disagree whether magnesium alone can prevent cramps without other lifestyle changes. But in my practice, when we added magnesium-rich foods and light nighttime movement, cramp rates dropped a lot. Let's talk food. Best natural sources of magnesium include pumpkin seeds. The MVP, just 1 ounce, gives you nearly 40% of your daily needs. Almonds and cashews, spinach and Swiss chard, black beans, avocados, dark chocolate, yes, really, and your legs will thank you for it. You can easily build a cramp-busting plate. Grilled salmon, sautéed spinach, a scoop of quinoa, avocado slices, and a small square of dark chocolate for dessert. Simple, delicious, effective. But here's something even simpler. Epsom salt soaks. Your skin can absorb magnesium through a warm bath. Add a cup of Epsom salts to your evening soak and let your legs unwind in the water for 15-20 minutes. It's soothing, it's gentle, and many people say it works like magic. Now what if you do want a supplement? First, talk to your doctor, especially if you're on any medication or have kidney issues. Then, if you get the green light, try magnesium glycinate or citrate. They're more absorbable and easier on the stomach than magnesium oxide, which is common but often ineffective and more likely to cause digestive drama. A good starting dose around 200-300 milliliters per day in the evening. But again, check first. And don't expect results overnight. It usually takes a week or two to feel the difference. I had a patient named Carl, 77, stubborn, skeptical, and cramping nightly. He refused pills, but agreed to try a magnesium-rich evening snack, Greek yogurt with pumpkin seeds and a banana slice plus warm Epsom soaks twice a week. By week 3, he was sleeping through the night. He now calls it his leg dessert. Want one more surprising tip? Magnesium helps your body regulate calcium. Calcium contracts muscles. Magnesium relaxes them. Too much calcium without enough magnesium. That's like stepping on the gas with no brakes. So, if you've been taking a calcium supplement, especially the high-dose ones without magnesium, your muscles might be on overdrive, with no off switch. It's all about balance. And while magnesium isn't a magic bullet, it's definitely a missing piece of the puzzle for many. Now, let's gently stretch this concept a little further. Literally. Because movement done mindfully can mean the difference between nightly leg rebellion and full body peace. You shift your weight from one foot to the other, your knees crackle a little, your hips complain, and you think, well, I guess this is just how getting older feels. But here's the honest truth. Your body doesn't cramp because it's aging. It cramps because it's underused, or misused, or simply forgotten. Movement isn't just exercise, it's circulation, it's fluid exchange, it's muscle memory. And when we stop moving certain parts, especially our legs, those parts start misbehaving, like bored children in church. That's why one of the most powerful ways to prevent leg cramps is also the gentlest. Regular low-impact movement. Mainstream medical fact-light physical activity improves circulation supports, muscle elasticity, and reduces the risk of nighttime cramps. But here's the rub, pun intended. Most seniors don't want to start lifting weights or doing burpees at 7 a.m., and they shouldn't have to. The real secret lies in micro-movements, little motions throughout the day that stretch, hydrate, and oxygenate your leg muscles without overwhelming your joints. Let's talk about Doris. She's 74, had hip replacement surgery, and used to get calf cramps every time she climbed stairs or sat too long. She didn't want a gym membership or an app, so we created a cramp prevention loop she could do in her living room every few hours. It looked like this. 10 gentle ankle rolls, 5 slow leg extensions sitting on a chair, 30 seconds of heel lifts, 1 minute of walking slowly around the room, a long full body stretch with arms overhead. Total time 3 minutes. That's it. Within a month, her nighttime cramps had dropped by 80%. She even started doing the loop during commercial breaks while watching her shows. Some doctors say, just walk more. But walking, while great, isn't enough if you're not targeting the specific muscles that tend to cramp. Your calves, your hamstrings, your feet, your lower back. So here's a surprising tip, toe yoga. Yep, it's a thing. Just sitting in a chair, try lifting only your big toes while keeping the others down. Then reverse hold the big toe down and lift the others. Repeat for 30 seconds each foot. Sounds silly maybe, but it wakes up dormant nerve pathways in your feet and calves and helps prevent the kind of static tension that builds up during the day. Another tip, wall stretching. Stand facing a wall, place your palms flat and step 1 foot back. Keep the heel down and bend the front knee. Hold for 30 seconds, then switch. This stretch targets your gastrocnemius muscle, one of the most common cramp culprits. You don't need to stretch like a gymnast. You just need to send your muscles a friendly reminder that they still have a job to do. Now, a quick word of caution. Some doctors still disagree whether pre-bedtime stretching helps or aggravates cramps. That's because intense stretches can sometimes overstimulate tired muscles. So keep it gentle. Think lengthen, not yank. Breathe slowly. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the feet. Here's a lovely bedtime flow I often recommend. Sit at the edge of your bed. Flex and point each foot slowly 10 times. Roll your ankles in circles. Reach forward and stretch your hamstrings gently. End by massaging your calves for 30 seconds. No equipment, no sweat, just a slow unwinding. And while we're here, massage works, even if it's just your own hands gently pressing along the calves in slow downward strokes. Why? Because it increases circulation, releases muscle adhesions, and gives your nervous system a signal. We're safe. We can relax now. Bonus tip. Brush your legs. No, really. Use a soft, dry brush before your evening shower. It stimulates lymph flow, exfoliates dead skin, and improves nerve sensitivity in the legs, especially helpful if you're prone to restless legs or tingling. You don't need to move like an athlete. You need to move like someone who still values their body, who believes that these legs are worth a little extra care. So, whether it's a 3-minute routine or a mindful walk to the mailbox, keep those muscles engaged, keep your blood moving, keep your nerves calm, because stillness over time becomes stiffness. And stiffness is the first whisper of a cramp waiting to happen. But movement alone isn't always enough, especially when the very thing you trust to support your body all day might actually be undermining your legs entirely. You slip on your favorite house shoes, soft, reliable, comfy. They've been with you through every midnight snack run and every early morning shuffle to the kettle. But here's something most people never think about. Your shoes could be quietly strangling your circulation and setting you up for nighttime leg cramps. Yes, even the cozy ones, especially the cozy ones. Let's unpack this. Your feet are your body's foundation. Every nerve and muscle from your lower back down relies on clear communication through your feet. When that connection's disrupted by poor support-tight straps or flattened soles, your legs start compensating. Muscles overwork, nerves misfire, and by bedtime, you're primed for a cramp. Mainstream medical improper footwear, especially shoes with poor arch support or restrictive toe boxes, can increase muscle fatigue and contribute to leg cramps. And we're not just talking about running shoes, we're talking about house slippers with flat floppy soles, old sneakers that lost their cushioning 5 years ago, fancy sandals with thin straps and zero arch support, backless clogs that make your feet grip constantly to stay on. You might think, but I'm just wearing them inside. That doesn't count. Oh, it counts. Because if your feet are tense all day, your calves and ankles are subtly overactivated, trying to keep everything aligned. By the time you crawl into bed, your muscles are exhausted and more likely to seize up at the slightest misstep in circulation. Let me tell you about Helen. She's 70 lives alone, walks daily, and adored her memory foam slippers. But she kept waking up with stabbing cramps in her left calf. Turns out the sole was too soft. Her arch collapsed inward every time she stood. Her gait changed. Her calf tightened to compensate. We swapped the slippers for a pair with firmer soles, a slight heel cup, and proper arch support. 2 weeks later, no more cramps. She said it felt like walking on a better version of me. Here's a surprising tip. Try wearing a shoe with a slight heel drop, meaning the heel is slightly higher than the toe, but not more than 1 inch. This puts your calf in a slightly shortened position during the day, which can reduce the tension rebound effect at night. Also, ditch shoes that make your toes grip to stay on. That includes flip-flops, some mules, and even loose slippers. If your toes are constantly curling to keep your shoe on, guess what's tightening? Your entire posterior chain, the back of leg muscle line that includes calves, hamstrings, and glutes. Some doctors still disagree whether daily footwear habits directly cause nocturnal cramps, but most agree that poor foot alignment leads to muscle strain over time. So, what should you wear instead? Look for a defined arch support, a heel cup that cradles not flattens your heel, a flexible but supportive sole, test it, bend it gently. It should flex at the ball, not fold like a taco. A roomy toe box so your toes can spread naturally. Breathable material, sweaty feet, tie your eyes, more nerve irritation. And get this, even going barefoot too much can backfire. While it's tempting to pad around barefoot at home, most older adults lose some degree of foot cushioning with age. Without proper shock absorption, the small muscles in your feet overcompensate, pulling tension up your leg like a ripple effect. So, what's the happy medium? Supportive indoor shoes or orthopedic slippers. Occasional barefoot time on soft surfaces for sensory stimulation. Daily toe stretches to undo foot tension. Try this mini routine. Stand and rise onto your tiptoes slowly, then lower. Repeat 10x. Use a small ball tennis or massage ball to roll under each foot for 2 minutes. Spread your toes wide and hold for 5 seconds. Repeat 5x. Sit and gently stretch each toe backward 1 at a time. You'll be shocked at how tight your feet are and how much they affect your calves. One more thing, if you've been using orthotics or inserts for years, check their expiration. They wear down, and a flattened arch support might be doing more harm than good. Your shoes should make your feet feel stable, not squished flat or tired. And your feet shouldn't be the last thing you think about. They should be the first line of defense against cramping. Because every step you take during the day shapes how your muscles behave at night. So go ahead, check your shoes. Feel the soles, flex them, ask your feet how they're doing. They'll tell you. And once your feet are happy, let's turn our attention to 3 little daily joys you thought were harmless, but might actually be your calves' worst enemies in disguise. You pour your afternoon coffee, maybe sneak a second glass of iced tea, then later just a sip of wine with dinner, something relaxing to wind down the day. Harmless, right? Maybe not. Because here's the truth. Caffeine, alcohol, and late-day sugar are the unholy trinity of silent leg saboteurs. They taste comforting. They feel routine. But for many seniors, these 3 habits quietly mess with hydration, mineral balance, nerve signaling, and ultimately muscle control. Let's start with caffeine. Coffee isn't evil. In moderation, it can support focus, mood, even metabolism. But caffeine is also a diuretic, meaning it increases how often you urinate. And guess what? Leaves your body along with water. Magnesium, potassium, sodium. All the minerals that keep your nerves calm and muscles flexible. Mainstream medical fact: excessive caffeine intake, especially in dehydrated individuals, can contribute to electrolyte loss and muscle cramps. So if your water intake hasn't been great, and you're sipping cup number 3 at 3 p.m., your legs are already slipping toward cramp mode, and you haven't even had dinner yet. Here's a surprising tip: for every cup of coffee, drink an equal glass of water. That balances the dehydrating effect without robbing you of your ritual. Better yet, switch to half-caff after noon, or try herbal teas that gently support hydration like rooibos peppermint or lemon balm. Now let's talk about alcohol. Even small amounts of wine or beer can be relaxing, but they strip magnesium fast and dehydrate your tissues. That evening glass may seem innocent, but it often sets up the perfect internal storm. Mild dehydration, nervous system stimulation, muscle twitchiness, disrupted sleep, especially deep-stage repair sleep. And if you've ever had a drink or two, gone to bed early only to wake up more tired, this could be why. Some doctors still disagree whether alcohol directly triggers muscle cramps, but most agree it worsens underlying causes like fluid imbalance, sleep disruption, and magnesium loss. And if you're taking medications that affect hydration or muscle control, alcohol only sharpens the blade. Now here's the wild card: sugar. You wouldn't think that Cookie at 9 p.m. is planning an ambush, but sugar spikes insulin. Insulin shifts fluid and sodium levels inside your cells, which means muscles might contract harder or misfire entirely. Too much sugar can also increase inflammation, which affects your nervous system's ability to regulate movement smoothly. Ever heard of restless legs? High sugar intake, especially close to bedtime, can dial up nerve activity and make your limbs feel twitchy, hot, or hard to settle. Even natural sugars like honey or fruit juices can cause issues if your mineral balance is already off. Here's a real-life story. Paul, 69, had a nightly cramping problem. He was active hydrated and took magnesium. Nothing helped. Then I asked, "What's your dessert habit?" "Oh," he said, "just a little bowl of grapes before bed, every night." Healthy, right? But grapes are loaded with natural sugars, and he wasn't pairing them with protein or fat to slow the absorption. We swapped the grapes for a small portion of Greek yogurt with cinnamon and chopped almonds. Within a week, no more cramps. He was stunned. The lesson: it's not about cutting everything fun, it's about timing and balance. So here's your new cramp-conscious cheat sheet. Caffeine, limit after 2 p.m., balance with water, choose herbal teas when possible. Alcohol, skip it if you've had a crampy day, never combine with low hydration. Pair with magnesium-rich foods if you do indulge. Sugar, watch evening sweets. Always combine with fiber, fat, or protein. Limit juices and natural sugar bombs after dinner. And if you're craving something sweet late, try this instead. A square of dark chocolate, 70% cacao or more, warm milk with turmeric bonus anti-inflammatory, a small baked apple with cinnamon, unsweetened coconut yogurt with berries. Each of these supports calm muscles, steadier blood sugar, and happier legs. So, Before you reach for that evening drink or treat, ask yourself, will this make my calves thank me later or curse me at 2 a.m.? Because those little choices, they echo through the night. And tomorrow morning, your body will remember everything you did today. Now let's wind it all together. You've made smart adjustments throughout the day: hydration, movement, food. But what you do in the final hour before bed, that's where the magic happens. Let me show you a simple nighttime ritual to gently cue your body for deep rest and silent, still legs. The lights are dim. Your home has that quiet hush, the kind that only settles in after dinner's been cleared, the news is off, and the day has fully exhaled. This is your body's favorite time. But also, it's the most crucial time if you want to prevent those sneaky sleep-ruining leg cramps. Because what you do in the last 60 minutes before bed either sets your muscles up to stay soft and still or clench like a vice just as you're drifting off. Let's build your new favorite habit, a bedtime ritual your legs will fall in love with. We're not talking about yoga on a mat or swallowing 12 supplements. We're talking calm, simple sensory signals that tell your nervous system, hey, it's safe now. Time to relax. Mainstream medical fact pre-sleep routines that include light stretching, magnesium intake, and relaxation techniques can significantly reduce nocturnal leg cramps. But don't worry, we're not going full spa mode. Let's start with this. 1. Warmth. Cramping muscles love warmth. Heat relaxes blood vessels, encourages circulation, and dulls overactive nerves. So start your ritual with one of these. A warm foot soak with Epsom salts, a microwavable heating pad on your calves, a warm shower focusing on your legs, even warm socks if your feet tend to feel chilly. You're not pampering, you're sending your legs a neurological love letter. 2. Movement. But make it sleepy. Forget power stretches or hamstring pulls. Instead, sit at the edge of your bed, flex, and point each foot slowly, 10 times. Make 10 ankle circles in each direction. Do 5 light calf raises if you're able. Massage your calves and arches with gentle downward strokes. It should feel like wringing out tension, not working out. 3. Magnesium snack or sip. Remember our hero from section 6. This is the time to give your body a little magnesium-rich treat. A spoonful of almond butter, half a banana with pumpkin seeds, Greek yogurt with dark chocolate shavings, a magnesium citrate supplement if approved by your doctor, bonus parrot with a warm herbal tea like chamomile or lemon balm. Soothing, hydrating, and muscle calming. 4. Breathing. This one seems too simple, but it's real. Your nervous system has 2 gears: fight or flight, cramp, city, rest, and digest. Peaceful night. Deep, slow breathing switches the gear. Try this pattern. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat 4-6 times. Do it with the lights low, maybe with your eyes closed or while massaging your calves. You'll feel the difference in minutes. 5. The leg whisper. Here's a surprising tip. Thank your legs out loud. I know it sounds silly, but your brain responds to self-directed kindness. Gratitude reduces stress hormones and improves sleep quality. Even saying, thanks legs, you carried me today, I'm giving you rest now, can subtly rewire your brain's relationship with your body. And a relaxed mind means relaxed muscles. Some doctors still disagree whether mental habits affect physical symptoms like cramps. But in my experience, the body listens when you speak gently to it. 6. Position check. Quick review. Are your sheets loose at the foot of the bed? Do you have a pillow or towel under your calves? Are your feet warm and free to move? Can your toes point upward if they want to? Perfect. Then finally, 7. The no screens rule. Screens stimulate your nervous system and mess with melatonin. Worse scrolling in bed often encourages poor posture, tight hips, curled feet, tense shoulders. Try trading your phone time for light reading, listening to a calming podcast or sleep story, gentle music or white noise, journaling 1 sentence about what felt good today. None of this is extra, it's essential care. And the more consistently you follow your ritual, the more your muscles will start to trust you. They'll stop jolting awake. They'll stop sounding the alarm. because you're giving them what they've been quietly asking for all along. Attention, movement, warmth, stillness. Now let's slow it all down. You've done more for your body tonight than most people do all week. You've hydrated. You've moved gently. You've softened your schedule and stretched your muscles. You've learned to speak a little kinder to those legs of yours, those legs that have carried you day after day without ever asking much in return. Now let your breath settle. Inhale, hold. Exhale longer than before. Feel the weight of the blanket resting on your body. Notice how your calves feel warmer, your feet looser, your toes uncurled. Even your knees, those old storytellers, have quieted. Your legs no longer have anything to prove, not tonight. No twitching, no jumping, no midnight shouts. Just rest. And as your chest rises and falls, let your nervous system sink deeper into calm. Let your heartbeat soften. Let your body know it is safe, it is held, it is home. Tomorrow will come, but for now all that matters is this stillness. This small act of devotion to your body. This peace. Sleep well, friend. You've earned it.